to. But you have so much negativity around you that you are literally inside. You're built on the negativity. And then once I met this guy, Vic, who's a millionaire, who's a humble guy, you would never say that this guy's a millionaire. He invites you to his house. He sits down right in front of you, and he just punches, 20 minutes worth of work. And next day I make 1,200 bucks, and then it trickles down, like I said. So tip number 3, guys, really protect your mind with everything that you can. Walk away from negativity and plug into positivity. One of the first books I read was Slight Edge, right? Think and Grow Rich. That really propelled me. Obviously, that was your recommendations. But yeah, man, back then I'm still with the check. I'm going to the bank, and I'm like, this has got to be real. I hope this is. I deposit the check. And then next day I see the balance in there, and I'm like, that's it. That's the guy I want to follow. Whatever it takes, I want to follow this guy because you cannot fake the numbers. You cannot fake the stuff that's in the bank.
And then you become a converted, enthusiastic wanapreneur at this time.
That's it, man. That's it. And then I just soaked in everything that you provided to me.
Yeah. So, but there's so much I want to get out from this interview here today, because I know I always do these from a perspective of a complete beginner, right? So, from a beginner, but also keep in mind that if you're an advanced entrepreneur right now, maybe you're an advanced marketer, or maybe you're a super promoter, right? What are some of the ideas that you can take and implement to your business, and that can produce tangible, predictable, actual results for you? Okay, so this is not just talk and stories here. There's a lot of embedded lessons here that are going to be worth many perhaps many thousands and maybe even millions of dollars here for you in the business. Paul, you mentioned something about working hard. You did not want to work hard, you wanted to work smart. We do work really, really hard, as you know, right? Over here, but it's a different little bit of a different type of work. I want to bounce back and forth on that type of an idea as well. But you also mentioned something about, I made it seem like it was so simple. Wrote an email to a segment of a very, very tiny list, because I did not want to, do a promotion to the entire list, obviously. So I just pulled out a segment of about 1,200, 1,300 people at that time. I think it was around that. It was a really, really small list. And I wrote an email, and that's how all that money came in, is a result of sales coming in, right? So I do want to give you guys, you're watching this. I want to tell you how that's possible. It's not as it seems simple and easy. Okay, it's actually simple, but it's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing that every single second of the day, right? But it's possible for everybody. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. So Paul, what happens at this time? So you got the check, you deposit the check. What happened next?
Well, after that, obviously, I was still looking for for work. But I was so ignited by the idea that you can literally work online. And just like you mentioned, obviously there was work that you put in prior to that in order to get the result that you got for me, right? But the idea itself that you can actually work smart, you don't have to work physically outside of the, building, let's say, hard. And so after that, once I got that check, I'm like, hey, I want to follow this guy. I want to follow this guy as much as I can and get as close to this guy as I possibly can. Next day, I just went on, about my business, so to speak. I went out and started looking for work. I found myself a job that was paying me about $13 an hour. Obviously, I couldn't do that because I had loans, I had debt. So I said no to that. And then thankfully, a week after that, you're like, hey, man, you want to come work with me? I'm like, sure, let's do it. Let's game. I mean, I was willing to do whatever it takes to learn from the guy who was getting the result that he was getting. I was sold.
Yeah, and I remember you came in as just helping out with support, because I was getting. This was like, you guys, you gotta picture this. This is we're going back about 7 years, right? At the time I was doing this interview right now, obviously, so 7 years ago, right? I was I think, you remember. I was promoting stuff on ClickBank. I was promoting other people's products. We started to venture out into creating our own trainings, our own coaching, programs and that kind of stuff. So I was like getting bombarded with emails and support emails, and because everything we do, here's a side note for you guys. So we're just gonna go back and forth with you here, and just kind of bounce ideas back and forth because I know, obviously you're head of the support here, and which by the way, you guys are 4%ers here. Yeah, just a little side note, I've gotta plug this in because this is so huge, so huge. You guys, look, the dedication, right, to have the right people on board. Okay, we are under an hour. I think it's 0.94 or 0.92 or something like that, right, Paul? Under an hour for a 30-day average support reply time for the support tickets. Okay, 30 days, including weekends, including nights, holidays, everything. It's a 30-day average under an hour. Yes, Paul, thank you, man. Thank you for that. You guys are awesome. You guys support people from the 4%. You're watching this. Perhaps you guys are absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome, and I'm very, very, very proud of that. There is no other company, to my knowledge, that online that has a support average response time, 30-day average, to be less than an hour. Heck, I don't even know any company that's less than like 2 hours. Okay, so we're definitely doing something right here, and I'm just pumped about that. I think it's a big deal. All right, so look, side note, right? Side note. When I was promoting other people's programs, right, other people's stuff, and you might be an affiliate, right? You might be promoting this as an affiliate. Let me go first. So whatever, anything that I was promoting at that time, it was not, I did not have to create products initially. Okay, initially I was just starting out as an affiliate, promoting somebody else's product that somebody else delivered, somebody else created, somebody else serviced, right? And I was just like an affiliate, which is a lot of you guys are, right? Just promoting as an affiliate. But I always did this one thing, which is building a tribe, building a community right, environment around what I was doing, around the products that I was promoting. So huge idea for you. If you're an affiliate, right, if you're promoting somebody else's stuff, which is great, you can make millions of dollars doing it. Always think, how can you create a group? How can you create a sense of a team, a sense of us? You know what I mean? If you can, nobody cares about you, okay? Nobody cares about me as an individual, okay? Like, you could probably care less about me, but here's the thing. I bet you care about if you are a part of a group, if you are on the team, right? You care about the team. So it's if you can, anytime when you can create an us environment and a sense of us in your marketing, right? You will always go a lot further than your competition. So this is what I was doing, and this is why we had our own support, even as an affiliate, right? I provided my own support to people that I serviced, to people who were on my list when they replied back to the emails. Initially, I was doing everything myself, and then I needed help, and then this guy shows up, Paul, and I'm like, hey, man, you're so eager. He's like, man, I want to do this. This is it, man. This is it. I want to do this. And he comes, and he shows up again and again. He's like, dude, I really want to do this. And I was like, I did not, Paul, I think if I recall this correctly, I did not give you all the details, all the information, and try to recruit you. I was actually like pulling back a little bit, right? And the more I pulled back, the more aggressive you became in pursuing, your dream that you wanted to work online and you wanted to start this career online. Another big tip for you guys, okay? Practice reverse psychology, okay? Here's the thing, okay? This goes true for, for attracting the employees. If you are out there, okay? If you're out there, if you need help, if you're trying to get somebody to work with you, or if you're in desperate need for somebody, whether it's a client, a sale, an employee, or whatever, or money, okay? If you are coming from a position of I really, really, really need, this is a position of weakness, okay? A position of a weakness. You want to come from a position of power as much as possible in everything you do, okay? What's a position of power? You don't push. Okay, you create a pool, which we're going to talk about this a little bit as well. And of course, if you guys are in the 4%, you know a whole lot about creating a pool type approach in your marketing and in your business. It's really, 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 really stealthy idea, but it's a good one. So Paul, he was like, dude, I want to do this. So I'm like, I give you a task, right? I'm like, hey, come down here, sit down here. Here are the tickets. Here how I answer them. Go do it, right? And you literally you went at it. What was your what was going through your mind? I mean, this is a new territory for you. You've never done anything. Dude, you're coming from construction, working at a construction job, driving the Bobcat, right? Why were you so attracted to help out with the support department when you've never done it before? And what was it about you, dude, that I remember I gave you an assignment. I said, hey, here's like 50 or 100 tickets that we need to answer. Here's the first 5 I'm going to answer with you. Just watch me. I didn't even take you through this huge big training or anything. You just literally watched me do this kind of stuff. And you went out there and I said, okay, go do it yourself. And you just picked it up like that. What was it about that? Is that because you're somebody who's like super smart, super special, you got any magical talents or abilities, or what was it? Why, walk me through the experience. What was it in your head, or what was it about you that made you just pick that stuff up real quick and run with it?
Well, definitely smart. I mean, you got to be smart. You know what I mean? You got to put some laughter to it. But, the fact that I found someone who is getting the results that he is getting, I was like, dude, I'm going to do whatever I can to be around this guy. Here's why. Tell me your 5 closest friends who you're friends with, and you will eventually be one of them. Five of your closest friends, tell me their incomes, right? I was like, dude, I'm going to do whatever I can. It was a day and a half training that you trained me. It was a day and a half. And he's like, go do it. If you have a question, come back to me. That's it. So I'm like, dude, I did not count hours. I did not count time. If I had to work night, whatever I had to do, I just did it because I knew eventually it will pay off. I knew that it will pay off 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now. It will. Okay? And so I just saw, again, I got that seed. I got the idea in me that, hey, this is the guy I'm going to follow through whatever it is. It was tough times. Sometimes we had tough times. But we went through it. And that actually made us better as a company, as a team. That actually made us better of who we are today.
Talk about this. I want to shift gears here a little bit because you saw literally the unfoldment of the projects that we did, going back 7 years ago. How we did things, right? What were some of the ideas, or what were some of the things? And I don't think I've ever asked you this question before. What were some of the ideas that you like? Maybe some of the lessons that you took for yourself. You're like, wow, that's really neat, or wow, I think I should, I think that's a good idea, or that's a bad idea. Like, do you recall, like, if you could, like, sum up some of the biggest breakthroughs or like aha moments for yourself? Again, at this time, you're starting out as a support person, okay? And then, and you're watching the company scale, you kind of being in the trenches there. And, you don't really know all the marketing, marketing strategies. You don't really understand how to market yet at this time. You're just dealing with people, you're answering tickets, right? Based on what the company is doing. As an outsider at this time, kind of watching, the projects, right? Watching us doing promotions. Were there any aha moments that, maybe sparked that idea? Because I remember one time you coming to me and you're like, hey, dude, there was this one company that's launching out, paying out 100% commissions, and I think you should get it. And I'm like, dude, I don't understand it. How can a company can pay out 100% commissions and be in business? I don't get it. So I was just blowing you off, right? But you kept coming back. And eventually, when we joined that company, you ended up making $1 million or something like that, right? So yep. It was being in the right place at the right time. A lot of it had to do with that, right? But prior to that, you watched the campaigns, you watched the promotion. Was there anything that, what were some of your aha moments?
Well, to answer your first question, I think one of the first things that jumps out about you is your love and your care for people. Literally, that's the first thing that comes, to my mind, watching you in the background in trenches where people actually don't see, right?
Yeah.
Your love and your care for people. And this is true, guys. I don't know, whatever you guys say there in chat, I don't see that right now. But the love and care for people. Whereas here's an example. Vic can literally take his list and just blast out an email and make $10,000 a day. No, he doesn't do that. He goes out there, hires a programmer, hires a designer, creates a website work. He doesn't have to do that. And I'm like, dude, why are you doing this, man? What's up? He's like, man, I mean, yeah, I can make money right now. I can make money tomorrow, and I can make money a week from now. What about that new person? What about that first person who's actually